India's e-commerce market is expanding toward $200 billion by 2030, fueled by the standard expectation of 10-minute delivery. You press a button, and the groceries are arriving at your door almost immediately. But that speed meets a hard physical wall here. Densely packed, chaotic intersections define the reality for every package trying to navigate an Indian city. This chart shows how that chaos translates to cost. While the global average for logistics sits between 8 and 10% of GDP, India's costs reach a staggering 14%. That gap represents a friction penalty. It means that despite the digital speed, the physical supply chain is operating at a structural deficit, straining to keep up with consumer demand. Online brands are feeling that friction at the micro level, losing 25 to 30% of their gross income directly to failed deliveries and returned products. Much of that loss is driven by cash on delivery. Without an upfront payment, there is no financial cost for a customer to simply reject a package at the door, leading to high failure rates. Geography makes this worse. 67% of shipments are now heading to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, where couriers face environments like this: narrow streets and unmapped addresses that traditional logistics weren't built for. Adding more delivery riders cannot solve a systemic lack of infrastructure. Survival in the last mile now requires an overhaul of 3 core gears: the physical, digital, and human infrastructure. This starts with the phase-out of the traditional Godown. These rooms rely on manual labor and scattered storage, wasting vertical space and moving far too slowly for modern e-commerce velocity. The replacement is the Grade A warehouse, massive, government-backed facilities built with specialized loading docks to handle constant volume. These structures use height as a primary asset. The ceilings are engineered for high-density vertical racking, allowing companies to store 10 times more inventory on the same footprint. Inside, automated lifting equipment and industrial conveyor belts remove the need for manual searching, drastically increasing sorting speed and reducing human error. Centralizing into these engineered hubs reduces the processing time for every single package and lowers overall overhead. To run these hubs, companies are treating AI as a central nervous system, using it to optimize delivery routes and predict sudden demand spikes. They are even deploying AI voice agents to call customers in regional languages, specifically to tackle the high failure rate of cash orders. These agents convince Tier 2 customers to switch to prepaid payments before the driver leaves, which has already boosted delivery success rates by 11%. Simultaneously, the Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC, is attempting to break platform monopolies. This node-based visualization shows how ONDC separates the buyer app, the seller, and the delivery fleet into an interoperable network. A single buyer can connect to multiple independent providers, bypassing centralized platforms. Logistics is becoming a predictive data science rather than a simple transportation challenge. Despite the data, the final link in the chain remains human. Every package still depends on a single gig worker on a motorcycle. The gig model allows platforms to scale their workforce instantly during peak hours without carrying the overhead of full-time staff. This chart shows the projected growth of India's gig workforce, reaching an estimated 23 million workers by 2030. However, these workers lack formal job security or social protections. A multi-billion-dollar system dependent on an unprotected labor force creates long-term instability for the whole network. Technology has clear limits. An AI routing agent cannot pave a dirt road or map a rural address that does not exist on the grid. And prioritizing speed through automation creates new opportunities for fraud. One customer used generative AI to fabricate this image, turning one cracked egg into 24 broken ones, and claimed a full refund from Swiggy Instamart. These scams force platforms to slow down and add manual verification, which directly undermines the promise of instant delivery. When speed is the only metric, the entire supply chain becomes brittle the moment the automated layer is exploited. Future market dominance depends on a triple-layer strategy: automated mega-warehouses, ethical AI protocols, and sustainable labor practices. The 10-minute delivery window is the output of a massive industrial machine. Like a precision watch movement, every gear must click perfectly into place. That instant gratification at the front door is a result of extreme industrial orchestration.